And the husband, he came home 2 days early from a overseas trip, and he got home and he walked into the bedroom and there was a cigar in the ashtray. And he said to his wife, he says, "Where did the cigar come from?" A voice from under the bed said, "Havana." I just shared with you. Here it goes. The U.S. should liberate Canada from Trudeau. So says Tucker Carlson. He's got a darn good point there. He goes on to say, hey, he's an authoritarian person and the government is upside down. They are so left-wing. They are destroying the country, and we go to other countries to help them. We need to free the Canadians. This is Cuba. He went on and on about Cuba, talking about Havana. Hey. But he's right. Send the troops up to Canada because, hey, your border is being destroyed because Trudeau is a terrible person. He's destroyed the fabric of the culture in Canada. He's changing everything to his thing, I guess, whatever that could be, but he has destroyed it. His father started many years ago by saying, hey, I got to change everything too. I'm going to change the language. I'm adding French. I'm going to change the system from imperial to metric. We don't want to talk to anybody else. We want to have our own stuff, right? And he did that. And this junior guy, he's doing worse, doing worse things. And why should we stand back? This is Tucker speaking. Why should we stand back and let our biggest trading partner, the country with which we share the longest border, why should we let it become Cuba? I spoke to Tucker about this, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, briefly. And even then, it was happening. And we both said, what can be done about that? It ain't nice stuff. Canada, still talking about them. Now Trudeau says we're going to donate more tanks to the Ukraine. Okay, why? Why are you doing that? He says, well, this donation, combined with contributions of other allies and partners, helps the armed forces of Ukraine to defend their nation's freedom. But you're taking the freedom away from all of the people in your country. Biden's doing the same thing. We want to help you have a free life. We're going to send armaments and all of this stuff. But in our country, you're not free anymore. We want to make sure that you're not. Oh, we'll defend your border. That's what they're saying, Biden and Trudeau. Oh, but our borders, let them come in. What's wrong with that picture? Do you get it? It ain't a nice picture. I mean, back to Canada, they have what's called Black History Month, right? And there's a taxpayer-funded Canadian theatre organization in Ottawa, Ontario, that recently has announced that they're having an event. You have to be black. You can't come if you're not black. Is that racist stuff? Let's have a white night. Should we do that? Not the guy on the horse. Let's have a white night with an N. Shouldn't we? Night, N-I-G-H-T, blah, blah, blah. How do you think that'll be received in the press? Trudeau, he wouldn't like that because Trudeau says we want diversity, and that is one of Canada's greatest strengths. Well, let's talk about diversity. Firstly, he's bringing in 500,000 people a year, he says. I think it's probably double that. He's changed the culture of the country, and now you have little tribes everywhere. Different cultures, different colors. I don't care what color you are. Come and live here, doesn't matter. But what Trudeau does, if you come on your own accord, but what Trudeau does, he goes into the towns and says, hey, they're all white. So then he brings in hundreds of people who aren't white. You want to come and you're not white. What does it matter? But buy your own ticket. Instead, the government is doing that because they've got this little thing. They think they're God, right? They're not God. They should leave everything alone. We'll get along with everybody. It doesn't matter what culture you are or color, we'll adapt. But instead, he brings in these people in such a manner that is disruptive to the entire system. And most of them don't work. Some of them, they're great people, some of them. They work hard, and I get all of that, but many do not. What really interests me is when you look at these long lineups of people going across borders, they're all 35-year-old men. Where's the women? And these men, they all have cell phones and different things. I mean, you kind of get the drill there. Hey, now, jumping away from that, on another topic, kids. Why are kids doing bad things? Recently, there's been a story on a 12-year-old boy in Oklahoma who stabbed a 9-year-old brother of his to death. And then there was a young boy that shot a school teacher. There's a long list of kids doing that. Is it because people now have to work harder to pay their taxes? When I was a kid, a woman, it was her choice whether or not she wanted to work. Some did, but most stayed at home to raise their family. Today, there's no choice. Someone else has to raise your family. In terms of Canada, the government wants to raise your children so they can do this indoctrination stuff, right? and that's going on. So when taxes are high, by the way, government has to tax you. They have to have your money because they spend money all of the time on things that they shouldn't be spending money on. you know, this stuff like being a transgender and all of the things that they're doing. It's up to us to decide what we want to be and what we want to do. And the government keeps interfering because they're left-wing wackos, and I don't like them. And then you get into the electric thing. That's another change, going back to what I spoke about with Trudeau. These guys and Biden, they all feel, and Newsom, and so many, that's a long list, they feel like they have to go out and make a change. I guess it's in their image. What image? The bad image. But that's what they're doing. And it's silly. People ask me, you're going to buy an electric car? And I say, I'll bark like a fox if I ever buy an electric car. I said, I am a fossil fuel and a steak guy. I mean, this is craziness. You're going to take all these people from this job and put them over into another job. And what? We have a blackout, and now your car's stuck on the freeway. What do you do with a car that's stuck on the freeway? And, you know, now the Biden guy is saying, hey, I got a list. I got other things. Water heaters, furnaces, clothes washers, dishwashers, ceiling fans, microwave ovens, and shower heads. And gas stoves too, of course. He wants everything to go to be electric. Governments can't keep the power on. Have you noticed? I mean, they're dumb as sticks, these guys. As sharp as marbles. There's all kinds of wordage stuff that'll describe government people, and they want to run our lives. Back away. Let's get rid of these commie guys, left-wing wackos, and vote for people on the right. Hey, politically right is right and left is wrong. Y'all come back. See ya.